Hey, I'm not MAGA, don't scroll. I'm going to attempt to explain to MAGA and the Republican Party at large exactly why we have such a problem with what Elon is doing right now and why they should be massively concerned, because I've been in comment sections all morning and y'all are absolutely not getting it and are absolutely oblivious to what's going on and have absolutely just been hearing propaganda and running with it as you have been pre-programmed to do. Now, first and foremost, Elon Musk is not an elected official. He hasn't been officially appointed to any committee, council, or office because the department that he allegedly works for doesn't officially exist, nor has he, as the de facto head of that department, been confirmed by the Senate. And so he doesn't actually have any legal authority to do anything that he's doing right now. And the only reason that he hasn't been arrested is because A, Trump would just pardon him. And of course, the DOJ and the Attorney General are both Trump's lackeys. And so the people that are responsible for enforcing his conduct against his conduct are on Trump's side. They're not going to do anything about it, but it's very much illegal. Let's just clear that up first and foremost. And then the thing that I see you guys saying over and over again is, oh, you guys have such a problem with Elon uncovering all this Democrat corruption. Democrat corruption, the House of Representatives is in control of the budget. In the last couple of years, the budget has been rewritten and or renewed multiple times. And since 2022, the Republicans have held the majority of the House. It's the Republicans. So if there has been some fraud, which I haven't seen any evidence, Elon is just tweeting, oh, there's fraud and corruption, but he's not bringing receipts. He's not showing any evidence, and he's barring anybody that could verify this potential corruption from even entering the building where he's working. And so there's been no transparency or no production of evidence whatsoever in any of his actions, period. So what is their actual goal now that we've established that they're not actually trying to uncover any corruption, because it would just be pointing a finger at themselves if they did? Their actual goal is to sow mistrust among the public so that they can justify closing these agencies and have you guys on their side and just believing that because they want to privatize the government, which is all spelled out in Project 2025. You know, that thing that you guys spent a bunch of time telling us that we were crazy for believing its existence of, and then we showed you that it clearly existed, and then you said, oh no, but Trump doesn't have anything to do with it. And we said, he's mentioned in it 312 times. What do you mean? And then we fast forward to today, where his press secretary was actually a spokesperson for the Heritage Foundation in their Project 2025 videos. And then, of course, we've got Vought over here, who was an author of Project 2025, being named to a cabinet position. And so we went all the way from Project 2025 doesn't even exist to he's literally hiring people in his administration from Project 2025. And that's where this comes from. You see, if they can sow enough distrust in these agencies, then they can close them down and say, oh, you know, the government's really inefficient at running these agencies, so we're going to move it over to the private sector. And that is going to cost all of us more money. That's where the real mismanagement and real fraud and embezzlement is going to come in. Because right now, we have a system where services of the government are being performed by the government, meaning they're just covering their operating costs. When something is operated by the government, the budget allocated to it is just to cover its operation to perform the functions of that government office. If it's moved to a private sector, then it's still going to have to fulfill those exact same roles with the addition of a profit margin, right? Because anything in the private sector requires a profit. Government, no profit. Private sector, profit. They're going to raise the prices on everything. Why do you think that even as they're saying, oh, we're going to lower costs on everything, we're going to cut so much out of the tax money that's being spent by uncovering all this fraud and corruption, then why are they still intending to raise your taxes? I mean, that's the proposal that's on the table, is they're going to raise the taxes on everyone but the 1%, as well as implement these tariffs to make up those shortfalls. And of course, a lot of that money is going to go to covering the tax cuts for the wealthy in the first place, but some of it's going to come along with the increased cost of running the government, because we're moving from a not-for-profit system to a for-profit system if they successfully privatize those. That's what this is actually about, is trying to close those government agencies and privatize them so that our tax dollars, instead of staying within this little circle here, taxes to the government, back to the people, provided services, they're going to insert this little middleman right here that's managing those services and extracting profit from it, which is an increased cost. That's why we have a problem. And if you guys could update your worldview to acknowledge that Project 2025 exists, that Elon Musk is a billionaire who didn't make it to being a billionaire by being this good Samaritan who's trying to save us all money. He tries to generate profit for himself. Why do you think he's spearheading this? He has more government contracts, making more money than anyone. He is going to insert himself into some of these gaps, and the other people are going to be his friends. You don't think that they know who they intend to fill those gaps with, what companies and corporations they intend to implement as government agencies in the private sector? You don't think that they're all invested into those, knowing that once they give a contract to them, their stock price is going to skyrocket? Yeah, they're all insider trading, and the whole thing is rigged against us, and you guys are too dumb or really too proud to see it, because that's what it is because I show you guys evidence and I know that you see the evidence and you just hit this switch that says, no, it's the Dems, it's got to be bad, we've got to just keep doing this. No, update your worldview and understand that information is just information.